For Reinforce Your Skills 7-5, we're going to manage a non-inventory product for a specific client. So Nancy Roos saw the kennel cages that Sadie uses to keep the dogs safe while waiting for their grooming. She's asked Sadie to order 3 of these for her own business. Sadie called the vendor and paid with her Citi Credit Union card. In this exercise, we're going to start by editing the preference to allow expenses and items to be tracked for a specific client. We're then going to create a purchase and the sale of the product. So we're going to start by going to the gear menu. Underneath your company, we're going to go down to account and settings. Once that loads, we're going to click expenses on the left-hand side. And then we're going to bills and expenses. We're going to go here. So sometimes this looks a little bit differently than what it looks like in your book. You can see that in my book, I have check marks. On this one, I have toggle screens. We want to track expenses and items by clients. We want to make sure that's turned on. We want to make expenses and items billable. We're going to track billable expenses and items as income, so make sure this is checked. And we also want to check charge sales tax. So make sure yours looks like this. Then we're going to click save. Then we're going to go to the bottom right-hand corner and click done. Then we're going to return to our dashboard. Next up, we're being asked to record the purchase. So now we're going to record the purchase made for the kennels with Sadie's credit card. So we're going to go plus new vendors and expense. The payee, we are paying Ace Groomer and Supply Company. We don't want our account to be the Los Angeles City Bank. We want it to be our Citi Credit Union card. The payment date should be 9/10/2026. The payment method is going to be credit card. In line 1 of the item details, we're going to go down to item details. We're going to enter special order. We're going to have to add this. Special order is going to be a non-inventory product. So special order wants us to do special order and then a colon. The description, special order, and then a colon. The income account, they want it to be sales of product income. So we're going to click on that and go down to sales of product income. Want to make sure that it's taxable at a standard rate. And then we're going to save and close. There. Now it wants us to type awesome folding kennel crate medium after the colon in the description field. So right here in the description field, it wants us to add the awesome folding kennel crate. Quantity needs to be changed to 3. And the rate needs to be changed to 45. We want to make sure that this is a billable item and we're collecting tax. So both of these should have check marks. We need to enter the client here. So Nancy is the client who's purchasing these. So I'll make sure that says Nancy there, and then we're going to save and close. So that saved the expense for us. Now we want to create an invoice for the sale of these. We're going to need the Puppy Love Pampered Pooch City and State to the shipping address, and then we're going to use it to calculate sales tax. So we're going to go to plus new. Underneath clients or customers, we want an invoice. Client name is going to be Nancy. So we've got to add that we're shipping to, so there might be an option here for you to drop down to put that shipping information in there. We're going to put Los Angeles. California, 90051. The invoice date needs to be 9/16/2026. We weren't told how many days Nancy has to pay, so we're just going to leave it as net 15. The next thing we want to do is add on this invoice. So we're going to add this invoice on here. Now remember, we purchased these awesome folding kennel crates, the medium ones, for $45. We are not selling them to Nancy for $45. We are going to sell them to Nancy for $120 a piece. So we're going to change the rate here to $120. And then we're going to scroll down. The textbooks tells us that sales tax will be calculated at the actual current rate. We're going to need to override this amount. So you'll see that our tax rate here, we want to look to see $34.20. That's the old QuickBooks account math. So we're going to see the math. Then we're going to override it. So we're going to go down here to override this amount. We're going to type 9 in the rate field. We're going to type reason other. It's going to tell us that this amount is $1.80 less than QuickBooks calculations, and that's okay. We're going to confirm that. We're going to close this. And then we want to make sure that our invoice total is $392.40. So make sure this amount matches what's in the textbook. You scroll back up, it's up here at the top as well. We want $392.40. We're going to save and close. Remember, if we were going to save and send that invoice to Nancy, we would have to have the client's email address listed up here. So we don't have the client's email up here listed, so we can't save and send. We're just going to save and close. The last thing we need to do for this Reinforce Your Skills 7.5 is prepare a couple reports. So we're going to go to the report center. So I'm going to click reports. And then I want to prepare the purchases by product or service detail. We want to run that report from 9/1/2026 to 9/10/2026. We're going to run that report. So here's our report. We want to export that. Again, the book tells us to export to Excel, but I want you to export to PDF. So here's the PDF form. We're going to save that. I'm going to save it in my folder that I have on my desktop. And we're being asked to save that CH07 purchases by product. So CH07 purchases by product dot service detail. We're going to save that, and that will finish up the Reinforce Your Skills 7-5.